Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel. This is Carmina, and we are continuing our voyage to boldly go where no one has gone before, to analyze each and every one of the 52 cards of the playing card deck. So before that, of course, I'm gonna remind you guys to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, for more content on astrology, cards, and human design, and other related topics. So today we are talking about the Seven of Clubs. And of course, as usual, we're going to be looking at the significance of number 7. We're going to be looking at astrological correspondences, at the Major Arcana correspondences. We look at the Seven of Clubs underlying and overlying card. We look at the Seven of Cards as a birth card, and we'll take a quick sneak peek at the Seven of Clubs birth. Number 7 has been used esoterically in many cultures and civilizations as a very mysterious and sacred number. In Vedic tradition, the oldest known Sanskrit holy book, the Rig Veda, it describes 7 stars, 7 concentric continents, and 7 streams of Soma. Soma being the nectar of the gods. Also, in the Jewish and Christian tradition in the Old Testament, the world was created in 7 days, and on the 7th day God rested. There is also the 7 steps leading to King Solomon's temple. In Egypt, they would say that there were 7 paths to heaven, and Muslims say that Allah created a 7-layered Islamic heaven and earth. In alchemy, the 7 stages of purification. So we can see that this number 7 is quite used and abused by ancient systems. So it's a very archetypal number. It marks an ending. It marks letting go of something. Because, okay, it's the last of something. Astrologically, it corresponds to the 7th planet, to Saturn. And it's interesting that God rested on the 7th day. Of course, the 7th day is Saturday, Saturn day. It's interesting that God rested on Saturday, the 7th day, because Saturn is associated to, taking time off, being lazy sometimes, and things like that. There's a Saturnian connotation to it. There's a destruction connotation to it, because also number 7 is connected to the tower. The black 7s are connected to the tower in tarot. So because it's a 7 of clubs, it's an end of ideas, an end of an intellectual project. It's something that is coming to an end, and you have to let go of it. Because at the number 7, people usually don't want to let go. They want to hold on to it. And that's where the bad manifestation of number 7 happens, when you hold on to things that are not necessary and then make you sick, or at least they slow you down. So at the 7 of clubs, there can be, in the bad manifestation of the 7 of clubs, if it's afflicted, it can be, a stagnation, holding on to ideas, to projects that are no longer working, instead of letting them go, letting them die, because Saturn, of course, is associated to death. But Saturn is also associated to our survival instinct, like letting go of something in order to reach the higher stages, the friendship, the 8, and the divine friendship, the 9. So because the clubs are connected to the air element, astrologically, if we look, Saturn in air signs does very, very well. In Gemini, it's delighted, it's in a natural friend sign. In Aquarius, it's in its own sign. And in Libra, it's exalted. So I think the 7 of clubs is the least painful of all the 7s, because of this correspondence to the air signs, and because it's easier to get rid of ideas than it's to get rid of feelings. For instance, the 7 of heart, which can correspond to Saturn in water signs, is way more painful than the 7 of clubs. Physiologically, Saturn corresponds, not surprisingly, to the elimination process. to eliminating the toxins in your body, to eliminating all the matter that is no longer useful, that where the nutrients have been absorbed, the waste is eliminated. Saturn is also connected to places of trash. It's connected to simplicity. It's connected to routine, doing things over and over again. So the Seven of Clubs in the Saturn position, or on the Jupiter or the Mars position, or in another favorable place is really helpful in that regard, because the person can move on from something that is not working much quicker. We can say about the Seven of Clubs that is like the wind that breaks down the trees that are old. It can seem like a disaster, or the wind that rips out the leaves that are dead. Yes, so it can seem something sad, but it's doing nature's work. Like Saturn is part of the world, and it's part of nature, and it's natural mechanism of cleansing itself. So when the wind breaks down a tree or some leaves, it's just because they're not supposed to be there anymore. So that's the manifestation of Saturn that is desirable, understanding that sometimes things come to an end, and after some period of mourning corresponding to the importance of that thing, then we need to move on with our lives. If we look at the Seven of Clubs, we see that the underlying card is the Eight of Diamonds, and the overlying card is the Jack of Spades. So the Eight of Diamonds, which would be something material, something bringing something of material value into the world, that's something of the past for the Seven of Clubs. That's not something that it's really concerned with now. It's not concerned with bringing concrete opportunities, but it's concerned with the present, which is ending things, ending ideas, ending projects. It's like the termination of a contract. Sometimes when you see a Seven of Clubs, you can get fired, or you can just quit a job that wasn't working anymore. The overlying card is also a pretty difficult card. Ernst Wilhelm calls it the least fun of all the jacks, the Jack of Spades. So after dealing with some destruction, after dealing with some letting go, then the person or the energy is that of a person who takes risks. Because it's a face card, of course, it's more powerful, and it has the energy to find a deeper truth about themselves and come together with it, and also take a risk, because the jacks, of course, contain the ace, the 2, and the 3 of spades in this case. I'm also going to mention that the 7s are part of the king energy, along with the 8s and the 9s. They're the beginning stage of the king energy. And let's look at the 7 of clubs days in the year are March 29, April 27, May 25, June 23rd, July 21st, August 19, September 17, October 15, November 13, and December 11. If you're born after sunrise in your place of birth at any of these days, then you're the lucky recipient of a 7 of clubs birth card. Congratulations. Yeah, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. The 7 of clubs birth card is not an easy birth card to have, but the person can still do a lot of interesting work in their life. It's just because of the 7, they're gonna have a lot of letting go to do. And of course, we also have to look at the rest of their cards. Their path we see is a 4 of diamonds, so they aim for material stability. They aim for a house that is a good deal. I guess they will, because the 4 of diamonds can be a house that is a good deal, so maybe they'll deal a lot with real estate. And the sun card is also a diamond. Their kingdom that they're building is a 5 of diamonds, is improving on their finances. Then the moon card, their early life influences, a queen of spades, so probably their mother was tough on them. The Jack of Clubs is the Mars card, so it shows how they deal with crisis situations. They're good at improvising, at coming up with new projects, new plans, new intellectual resources to take care of crisis situations and accidents. And then the Mercury card is a 9 of diamonds. They communicate also with a great awareness of what's around them in the world, very intuitively, looking at the omens around them. Then the Jupiter card is a 7 of spades. They avert a lot of issues. So some health issues will come up, but they will get rid of them. Also, it depends where Jupiter, the planet, is. For this hypothetical chart that I raised with today's date, Jupiter is there, so it helps. Then the Venus card is very nice. It's a 2 of clubs. So for them, it's important that they have an intellectual dialogue with their partner. They're very intellectual-minded people. They feel fulfilled by educating themselves incessantly. So they're one of those people that is a proponent and a fan of lifelong education, with that 2 of clubs of education there. The Venus can be the teacher and the student. Another thing that makes me think of that permanent lifelong education. They really feel happy coming together with an idea, having a dialogue with it, exploring it at the early phase, like courting an idea. That's how I can say it. The Saturn card is really nice, the King of Clubs there. It shows that they are mature enough to handle chronic problems and the pains of life, like the Saturn. Because they are a 7 of Clubs, the 7th card in the spread is quite important, and that King of Clubs further energizes their birth card. So they're pretty strong people. They have to do with difficulties. They're not very sentimental people. That's what I can say about these 7 of clubs. They're more intellectual, they're even in a romantic relationship, they're more interested in the dialogue, the humor, not necessarily lovey-dovey, because the only hearts they have, one of them is in the South Node card. So they come from a past life of devotion. The 4 of hearts can be the temple. And then the Neptune card, the 8 of hearts, that's very nice. Depends on where it is in the person. So when they feel fulfilled with themselves, when they don't require emotional validation, then they also connect on a deeper level to the collective, to the world. So that's really nice. I guess these people invest a lot of expectations into their career, the validation that they get from the world for their career, for their ideas, for their inspiration, because of that 6 of clubs in the Pluto card. So there's going to be a lot of lessons with that. They invest too much in that, and then they realize, that's not exactly what I wanted. I'm not saying they're not going to have success in their career, but when they do, Pluto also comes along to give them a little ego bashing. And the North Node is also a diamond, so they're working on being a good promoter, a good salesman for their ideas. They're working on making other people feel worthwhile. And also we have to mention the Uranus card there, the 2 of spades, coming together with their health, because we saw that 7 of spades there, that Queen of spades. So what makes them unique, part of their uniqueness has something to do with them coming together with a remedy, finding a remedy for their physical or psychological ailments, and that will create some unique discoveries for them. Okay, you guys, thank you very much for watching. If you like the cards presented in the video, they are part of a deck. If you're not in a hurry for Christmas, you can order it. You'll receive it in January. I'm going to insert a presentation of the card deck because I'm really happy with it and proud of it, and I think you should see it too, okay? So I'll see you guys tomorrow with the 6 of clubs. Thanks for watching, and bye.